it's such a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to my channel. My name is Elena and this is Angel's Cup Tarot. Today we're going to look at what does this person think about you. We have 3 piles to choose from, pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. With your person in mind, you can pause the video if you need some time to pick and choose, and the horses run wild in the background. But you can pause the video if you need some time to pick and choose your pile, and I'll see you in the reading. Hi pile 1, if you picked this lovely deck or this lovely crystal, then this is your reading. And before we begin, I would like to thank you for subscribing to my channel and liking this video, because it's a key factor for me to provide this type of content for you. And yeah, I'm entirely grateful. Thank you for supporting the channel. Let's get started. Pile 1, I'm so excited. Let's get started and let's reveal your message. I already pre-pulled your cards. Let's reveal them. So beginning off, we have the Magician in reverse, we have the 5 of Swords in reverse, the Hermit upright, you can see that, and then we have the 4 of Pentacles upright, okay, and the Sun upright, lovely depiction, and see how there's 4 angels in this depiction, and we have the 4 of Pentacles, interesting. We have release your ex, the time has come to clear your energy. Interesting way to think about it. Yeah. Then we have celebration, and that is the Star. So the Sun and the Star. And then we have a new beginning in 0. This is the Fool. And we have the 4 of action, 4 of wands. You have 4 and 4 and 4 here depicted. Interesting pattern. And the celebration, is this the Star? This may be the Sun as well. No, it's the Star. And this is the 5 of emotion, which is the 5 of cups. Makes sense. Okay, and your last card is from this oracle deck, and it says a reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So I guess that you two have some sort of history, and this person, what do they think about you right now? Yeah, it seems as though you have some sort of history, and I think with this Fool card, they wish for this new beginning, but there seems to be some obstacles in the way. And right now, I would be surprised if you are in any type of contact with this person, because we have the Hermit. So there seems to be some distance between the two of you, but the fighting or the I wouldn't even particularly say that this has been a time of fighting when it comes to the two of you. To me, it seems more as though there has been some conflict or some distance or some distancing in terms of energy. And this may have only be energetically that the two of you weren't on the same page. So we see the 5 of Swords in reverse, leaving that behind. But what is still conflicting this connection and the thinking patterns this person has surrounding the connection and surrounding you. So this is the 5 of emotion, looking at spilled milk. So when they think about you, they look at spilled milk in terms of this connection and in terms of how you two didn't agree on certain things. I think for this pile, it's more so energetically didn't align in one form or another, weren't on the same page in terms of how this connection should work out or the timeline regarding this connection. So this person realizes that there has been some conflict surrounding this, and therefore, we have the 5 of emotion. This person is looking at spilled milk, but not in terms of like the usual depiction of the 5 of cups, which would be someone being overly concerned about spilled milk and not realizing that they still have 2 cups standing up behind them. So this person is more so concerned if you would give them the time of day, if you would still give them a chance, because this person, in terms of their thinking patterns surrounding you, we see release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. And I think this is a current state that you may be in. And this person recognizes that. This person recognizes that you may be, I'm sorry about the horse again. This is a little pony. Its name is Edible. And yeah, it's very vocal. And yeah, where was I? Yeah, this person thinks that you're in the midst of releasing them, releasing their energy from your energetic field. But this person also recognizes what they did value in terms of you. The Sun is a very light-hearted and joyful energy, the most joyful in the deck and the most significant in terms of having very pure energy, especially with the depiction with these 4 angels. And this also is reminding us of the 4 pattern we have going on. So we have a 5 and a 4 pattern in this reading, which is very important to the whole reading. And yeah, very significant energetic patterns that we see. With the Four of Pentacles, this person realizes, mind, body, and soul, what they had in terms of this connection. And that is how they see you. That is what they think when they think about you, is your specialties, what made you special to them, but also what makes you special in terms of how you connect with other people, how well-spoken you are. I think this person is very interested in your intellectual pursuits, or they want to pick your brain in a sense, because we have this book on top of this woman's head. And yeah, just in terms of the depiction and how it's connected to the sun, this gives me a sensation of the way you view life, or the way that you go about things. Your way of reasoning brings joy to this person's world, and they recognize that and they realize that. So in terms of, yeah, and Edibo does realize that as well, you know. And whilst I'm doing this reading, the sun's really warm and it's out, and it feels like, yeah, very great day. It's like one of the few days this year that's like starting just this transition to summer. And I think this is also, it doesn't matter if you watch this reading during a different time, but that's the same energy coming out of a season of like darker times, darker days. And this is also the case with this depiction, because the Hermit, he needs to shine his own light, and he's very concerned about an internal process, and that's the energy right before that. And like just the way that you taught this person to think or see the world, or the way they regard the world because of you, has given this person this new light, this new joy and happiness, and that is something that they now recognize. But yeah, it definitely seems as though there's some sort of distance in between the two of you and this person, but this person also sees this as something that is in need in order to have shifted their perception, or they see it as a needed process in order for them to have shifted their perception in terms of this connection and to value it even more. And I would say that this person, regardless of the past and regardless of the maybe arguments, but I really do for this pile get more so of an energetic disagreement. Regardless of that, this person really does value you for you now, and values this connection a lot and what it has done to their life and what it has done to their perception. But they also see you disconnecting from them. They think you are now not so keen to reconnect in the future, and that's what they're concerned of. And that's literally showing in the cards as this Hermit, but it's also with the Five of Emotions and release your ex. But at the same time, this person really hopes that there can be some sort of reconciliation, and they would celebrate that with a reconciliation here, and with a celebration card and the new beginning. Like they would really cherish a new beginning as of right now, and they long for that in your energetic imprint, but they feel as though that's not the case right now. They feel as though you value different things, or they would understand if you did. It would make sense to them in terms of what went down, or how this connection evolved or lack thereof. So this would make sense for this person, especially after doing this, after internalizing certain things, or really looking within and like trying to get a grip on where they went wrong, or what they valued in terms of connections in general. Or yeah, just, I mean, it's easy to just go about life and not question certain things because they feel natural, or they just, you know, you haven't thought about it or haven't given it a second thought because that was a pattern. And I think that's the case with this person. Like a lot of male adaptive patterns that they had in terms of relationships really came to light surrounding this connection. And that was like a process of going within and reevaluating what gave them drive in the past. And yeah, that's something about this person right now, and like thinking patterns surrounding this connection. But also with the Magician in reverse, feeling out of power in terms of bringing this connection back. We literally see with release your ex in the same, like the positioning of these just make us see that there's like some sort of block in terms of this person's patterns when it comes to bringing this connection to light. Though there's a lot of light when they think about you, like they have very light-hearted, good memories, but it's not so much surrounding, like, I think they just want to live life with you. That's what I'm getting, especially with the Four of Wands, which is a marriage card. It's talking about commitment. If this person was more of a commitment phobic in the past, that's not the case. I think this person internally always longed, because we have this depiction and like the Fool and the Hermit, internally always longed for commitment. But it was just something that they thought they couldn't have, or they had certain blocks in their thinking patterns and in their behavior that were blocking them for having very meaningful connections, and very meaningful connections that they can actually value, and that's making them feel like life is going in the right direction, and they're feeling joyous, they're feeling light-hearted energy, and they feel serene and just connected to someone in the right way. And in terms of this connection, and in terms of you, it is something that they long for, something that they now wish for. And they will wish that you two could get back together and would have something that is stable and committed. So whatever stage you are in with this person, or you were in with this person would wish for something that is more stable. So if you've never gotten things off the ground with this person, really, they would wish that you would have real commitment and real stability with them that is very grounded. I get a very grounded and protective energy from this person. So I think they would want to protect you, and not in a sense of like physically needing to protect you, but just protect your energy and protect the connection and protect what you to have. And I think in terms of this connection, they didn't do that in the past. They might have viewed it from a different point, and maybe more so like what would be societal expectations surrounding this connection. Or I would say that in terms of living their life, they lived it more from a perspective of societal expectations rather than what are their expectations. And that's where this Hermit card plays a huge part in terms of changing their perspective. So that's something that is on their mind. I think with this whole going within, they're aware of that, but some of that still though is subconscious. And but it's deeply rooted. They're totally aware of all of these aspects. So they're aware how much joy you bring them, but they're also aware that it might be a far cry to long for all of these things in terms of how your connection went down or how they messed up energetically. And I really do see this person taking on more responsibility in terms of this connection and how things might have turned out, and energetically also taking on more responsibility, whereas though I would say that they've blocked that from coming full cycle for them and gaining some awareness surrounding this connection. Now they do actively regard their stance in this connection as something that was maladaptive, and something that I just think that the way they went about it in the past, it was clear that nothing would have come out of this. So nothing that is of solid substance could have come out of it, because I think this person was distant, and this person was deeming everything as a attack on their integrity, like everything where you did not seem to agree. And that may only be energetically like something they picked up on and felt like, this person's not going to do the same thing as I do. This person's not going to want to have the same, doesn't have the same value system, But I think that was just merely, they didn't even really know if that was the case. They just went with it. And I think this person has gained more awareness surrounding that. And again, I feel as though with this person, it did definitely come full cycle. So it doesn't give me this energy and this feeling of yes, but that's just how they view you now. And that's like, I think right now they also view you as someone who has a lot to celebrate or has a lot of joy in their life. And that often happens when you grow distant to someone, that you sort of glamorize their life and glamorize their experience because you don't have access to that any longer, or it's just not as close. So everything feels more glamorous. I used to have that with certain people in my life a long time ago, and that's giving me the same energy as that. Just feeling like because there's distance now, and may that only be energetically, but there's like more distance now energetically, that everything seems to be more glamorous in terms of how you live your life, how you view things, how you express yourself, how you speak your truth, I would say, and mostly what you value. Because the Hermit and everything, like being so stable, this person has gotten a hold of your value system, and it's something that they never thought could work for them, and now they've gotten insight that it is something that they valued all along. They just never thought it could be possible for them, and that could be due to low self-esteem, or just thinking that everyone else, that was for everyone else but not for them in a sense. Could have been something regarding just their way of life or how their stance in community was. So that's changed and shifted. That's what we see with this person, and literally wishing for this new beginning, literally wishing for more stability. And they think that you long for more stability now. You want more stability in your life, and you go for that. And you're also not apologetic when it comes to wanting what you want. They see you having gained insight on how deserving you are of everything. I want to say that they deprived you of, because I think this person really did get some insight on you wanting this connection in the past. And I would say that in the past, they would have seen you with this magician upright. They would have seen you as someone who wanted this connection for better or worse. So they thought they could literally do anything and it wouldn't destroy the connection. So they lived out a lot of very disturbing patterns. I'm getting like a very disturbing energy when I try to tap into the magician upright in the past in terms of how you connected to this person in the past. And this is only something, this pile wouldn't work for you if you do not have any type of history with this person in terms of seeing them or in terms of just connecting to them on an energetic level. So you need to know this person for some time around. Doesn't have to be years, but just, couldn't be that you met them yesterday. That wouldn't be your pile. Or that you only went out on one date with this person. That wouldn't be your pile. There needs to be some sort of history in terms of knowing each other. I think I want to get some more insight on the situation. Let's clarify certain things. Though I think this isn't the most... It's just... Let's get some more clarifiers. What does this person, pile number one, that's too many. What does pile number one's person think about? Yeah, celebration, more celebration. The Three of Cups is a card of celebration and being joyful. They see you being extra joyous and being surrounded by loving energy. And if that's not the case, then that's just what they think and believe, especially with the celebration card being here. This is the Star. So we have the Sun, the Star, and the Three of Cups. This is cup runneth over. This is like living that life. And that's what this person thinks in terms of you, that you're one of the luckiest people they know, that you get to have the most high value experiences, that you get to surround yourself with very alluring people, that you are yourself very alluring, that you have very high energy, that you are, just high vibe, that you always check your vibe, that you always nurture yourself, that you are very nurturing regarding other people, and that you're out for having great experiences with people and not taking anything but not respecting anything that doesn't bring good vibes to your world, like not being very much entangled in drama, especially with the Five of Swords in reverse, not being about drama, not being about seeking that experience, just, in a very high vibe state. That's what this person literally thinks, that you seek out the best experiences when it comes to life, when it comes to your surrounding, when it comes to what you value in connections, what you value in people. And they see you as someone who's extra joyous, just, cup runneth over. That's what this energy gives me. In terms of a reading, this would be the most joyous, most fun, loving, and just like a natural born cheerleader. That's how they see you, but also receiving the same energy in return. They see people interacting with you that way, or that's how they visualize what you do now, what you get to experience now. And I think they're in awe of that. I think they're in awe of how you turn things around. And I think they saw you in a darker state of your life where that wasn't the case. And this person has seen you evolve into something or someone who's unapologetically seeking out their joy and seeking out high vibe experiences in their life and not settling for anything less than. So this person is viewing you like the ultimate experience, and that's why they want this stable, happy, joyous life with you, because they believe that that is what you bring into one's life, because you've mastered that type of energy, you mastered that type of high vibration, and that's something that they seek out as well. In terms of energy, you could be a little like one up them in terms of like the way you carry yourself energetically. Doesn't have to be in terms of wealth, or in terms of like, this is more so giving me a wealth of energy, of like just abundance in general, very abundant mindset in terms of experiences in life. And that's what this person literally wants. They want that in their life as well. And they think you would be a great match, and that they now have mastered something that allows them to value that more than they did in the past, with this Hermit upright in the middle of your reading. So they think they mastered something surrounding that, and they now have more lighthearted energy as well, and they can value your lighthearted energy. And it may have been, that's just a pattern I see. I would say I definitely do see it in your reading as well, with the Magician in reverse and the Five of Swords in reverse. They might have thought you were naive in trying to go about life with this lighthearted energy, because they have wounds surrounding being in an energy like that. They think it's not sustainable, or they thought it wasn't sustainable, or they also thought that you just didn't experience the life the way they had, when you went about everything wanting to seek the highest experience, wanting to seek out joy everywhere. They just thought that was due to a lack of understanding life, and now they see that their approach was due to a lack of them understanding life, like that your way of going about things was actually bringing joy, because obviously joy isn't something that comes from just getting lucky. Like, you have to create your luck by being in this state, right? By being in this vibration. And some people do it naturally, and others have to get there eventually, or never get there. But yeah, in terms of this, like, this person now does understand that you knew more than they did in terms of this. So I would say that this is the case with this Five of Swords in reverse. This is how I would explain this, but let's clarify the Five of Swords in reverse. Seven of Cups, perfect. They thought it was an illusion, like you were chasing an illusion by going about, like you were gonna lose that illusion of everything being so lighthearted, and like see how this dark, or this isn't even a dark angel, but how this is taking over. And the Seven of Cups is all about building sandcastles or building castles in the sky, being able to visualize something, but in its shadow aspect, this is connected to being naive, being overshadowed by illusion, and seeing the world with rose-tinted glasses. And this person thought that your joyous nature was due to seeing the world from a perspective that wasn't realistic. It wasn't realistic to be so, like, to be seeking out all of these experiences, or to have an approach like this, because life is hard. That's how this person wanted to frame things. But this person didn't realize that when your energetic blueprint is life is hard, then you're going to see more of that. They didn't understand energy, and they didn't also, I think they did understand energy, but due to like socializing and due to experiencing life, I think we sort of get this, I think it happens in adolescence, or like that's going to be different for everyone. But I think in terms of this person, this did happen in adolescence, that they lost this connection to what vibration means. And that if you vibrate on a different level, like then you're going to see more of that naturally. So they thought by you seeking out those high vibe experiences all the time, you were going to be disillusioned, and that was going to just be a matter of time. But by you all constantly seeking out those experiences, you eventually got more and more of that, or that's how they see it. Like you having more of that, you're seeking stability. You're seeking stability in that state, or you did stabilize yourself in a state of happiness and abundance, or you've gained more of that abundant mindset. That's what I see this person think when they think about you. May that be consciously or subconsciously, but in terms of this Five of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Cups upright, of them feeling like you had a naive approach to life, and that wasn't something that was stable, that's solid. Like that's literally what they thought in the past. Like you were going to get your share eventually of like what they already saw life could be about, and how they saw darkness and like more shadow aspects to life and what you can experience. And yeah, they now see you as someone who just mastered a certain state of vibration, and that's what they want as well. And they think they've gotten more insight on how to do that, and they practiced around that more, especially by going inside more and maybe healing a lot of aspects that prevented them from having more high vibe experiences. And they view you as someone who's extremely valuable, and they want to have something that is a stable commitment in terms of you. That's what they think when they think about you. So very, like, it's such a positive message to get, and it's extremely positive. So I'm happy to be delivering this to you. I love when that happens, and I just get to have like an easy, fun, exciting, uplifting message and someone that's very high vibe. And I get that in terms of tapping into your energy, very magnetic and inspiring energy. So yeah, love to see that pile number 1. Keep it up. And yeah, I hope this reading did resonate with you, and if it did, please make sure to give this a thumbs up, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel so I can provide more of this content. And yeah, I hope to see you again very soon. Bye, pile number 1. Bye, pile 2. If you picked this pile or this crystal, then this is your reading. And I wanted to mention how much I appreciate everyone who subscribed to my channel. Thank you for supporting my work. It allows me to create more valuable content and connect to you more frequently. So thank you for everyone who's already subscribed, and thank you for liking my content as well, because it does connect the content to like-minded people, and therefore it grows our community. I appreciate it. Pile number 2, let's get to the bottom of how this person thinks about you right now. And for the cards, we have a soulmate. This is an oracle card, oracle deck that I shuffled from, and you deserve love. So the soulmate card says, yes, this is your soulmate, and you deserve love. Yes, you are lovable. So for your tarot, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. 6 of Cups in reverse. Okay. Wow. Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Star in reverse. Interesting. See how this Knight of Pentacles is depicted with his eyes on this star, but yeah, mostly his third eye, which is depicted by a heart. So very interesting. The Nine of Cups upright, and let's revisit this card because I think it's so interesting for this to come out that way. See how he has like this star. His vision is on this star, and even the horse, like they're on board where they're headed. Very interesting. And then we have the Helper of Abundance, which is the Page of Pentacles. So you have all the suits in terms of like movement and in terms of getting something started, and interesting, very interesting. The Eight of Thought upright, which is the Eight of Swords. Helper of Thought, which is the Page of Swords. Yes. Okay, wow. Interesting person, very interesting person. Ace of Action, which is the Ace of Swords. Very interesting spread. I have to say that. I'm surprised by the energy because I think it speaks volumes about this person. And sorry if you can hear my dog in the background chewing, as per usual, I want to say. But yeah, a very interesting person to begin with. I think we see a lot, in terms of their thinking patterns, we actually do see a lot of thinking patterns. But we also see a lot of thinking patterns in terms of them. So though this is about you and how they think about you, this is a lot like they're in the midst of re-evaluating certain things when it comes to their perspective on connections, which I think is extremely interesting to see that. I think this person does definitely think that you two have a very strong connection and that it has moved them in the right direction in life. And they do value that, though they think luck is right now not on their side and they're not getting, they haven't gotten the results they asked for, I think, initially when it comes to the connection. So they feel like certain things just don't align, that may be regarding certain values that the two of you, where like your views differ from each other, or your viewpoints differ from each other. Regardless, this person also does think that the universe has made it extra hard for them. But I think this person also realizes and recognizes that they may not have had the best of memories in terms of connections and in terms of matters of the heart. So that is something that they struggle with, to picture themselves in a healthy relationship. And I don't think that this person doesn't want that. Instead, they're really trying hard to come to terms with a better version of them, because they want a very committed and fruitful and resourceful connection and relationship. And they do want that in terms of you. But what this person struggles with is definitely memories of the past, or how they showed up in past connections. And that could definitely also include the past that the two of you have had. If the two of you had some sort of past with this spread, I get a very divided energy, where for some of you, you did definitely have a past with this person, and for others of you, this connection is very new, especially with the Knight of Pentacles and the Helper of Abundance starting off this reading. So this person does feel as though they have something very valuable to give, but it has yet to be perceived the way they wish for people to view them as. And they also see the challenges in terms of your guys' connection. They do feel like their hands are tight when it comes to certain aspects of this connection, but mostly it's, I think, past experience that shaped them, or that they haven't really let go of. And I don't mean that by like them still being stuck in terms of like an ex or something. It feels like there is certain emotions where like it feels cringe-worthy to me, that they haven't released. So they're stuck in that thinking pattern, but not, it's not voluntarily so. So they want to shake that off, but it seems as though this pattern is following them because they haven't allowed themselves to feel through it and to experience those emotions again. Maybe just driven by a fear of tapping into that set of emotions. So being afraid that that set of emotions may stick with them forever if they allow themselves to feel through that again. And I think that's also like a decision everyone has to come to terms with on their like own terms and, own timeline. And that's not something that can be pushed from outside sources or should be pushed. And that's definitely also something that this person fears, not being able to go through with like certain processes of letting things go in this connection. But I think you do allow them to, because that's like how they see it. The first time ever, they feel like it's something tangible that they really want to pursue. And the first time they also feel the space and the time to do so, like to go at it at their own terms and be able to get their head straight on certain things from the past that still haunt this person. With the Six of Cups in reverse, it definitely, especially in conjunction with the Eight of Thought, which is a sense of feeling tied up and feeling like there's not much you can do about it, and that being connected to the past. And then the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, where like this person is trying to pursue things, but they just feel like luck isn't on their side or hasn't been on their side in terms of matters of the heart or in terms of connections in the dimension that you're asking in. But I'm definitely getting, for most of you, this is definitely a soulmate connection, or like this is like what you're seeking, definitely. And this person is aware that you are trying to be with your soulmate. You might have communicated that outright to this person, or it may just be that this person is energetically aware that you are looking for your soulmate because your energy is making that very clear. And I think you give this person space to feel through their emotions, and they value that. And for the first time, they recognize that they're lovable. I definitely do get a sense of questioning their worth in the past due to certain scenarios. And I think that's not something that this person lets people in on, because that's not something that they want to lead with, because they're like, I get a strong sense of someone who's wanting to present themselves, and is, in fact, I get that sense from this person, very capable, very driven, and very stable, and comes off very stable, wants to do things the right way, with the Helper of Abundance and the Knight of Pentacles, wanting to look out for the best possible outcome when it comes to connections, and wanting to do that in terms of like they want to do things right when they like, that's not the fastest moving energy. So let's put it that way. The Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, these are the slowest in the deck in terms of movement, but there is movement. There's just more tangible movement, though they do take their sweet time. But I think with this person, they also need their sweet time. And that's like a question if you want to, I don't think that you should wait for anyone to come correct or come clean. Like, and that's totally up to you what you decide or how you decide to treat this person. And I do not see a lot about your energy, to be honest. I think your energy is mostly connected to this Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Star in reverse. So feeling like they didn't have the time, or not necessarily the time, because for some of you this could have really been like a long time coming, but feeling like they didn't really get the chance to show their good side in terms of you, and this person wanting to come correct in that sense also. because we see someone who is definitely action driven, but especially in conjunction with the helper of thought. So that's like more of a, it's a faster suit to have the page of swords, which like it's the page of swords in the original tarot deck. It's still, and then we have the ace of action. So this person is praying, if that makes sense. So even if this person isn't religious, like they hope for things to turn out right, and they hope for things to turn out in divine timing, and they ask for, or they wish for, and that's like in their energy field, is this need for another chance, wanting another chance, and wanting, maybe it's not another chance, but like wanting momentum in terms of this connection, and also wanting this connection to naturally gain momentum. And they want that to be a turn of events, and may that even be a sudden turn of events that will get you closer to happiness and emotional fulfillment. And they wish that for the two of you with this 9 of Cups. I usually see this 9 of Cups more so of like, to me, it's a self-love card, because it's having all the emotional fulfillment that one could gain, because it's like, definitely tarot is about divine connections in terms of like the suit of cups. It's about divine connection, so it involves two, but it's obviously there's like self-love. And I feel as though for me especially, the 9 of Cups represents the highest form of self-love that one could have. So I think this person sees you as someone who's very much self-loving and self-assuring. And still though, this is to me a card that represents more of a suit of self-love, and maybe this connection helped this person come to terms with how they view themselves as well, and how they view connections, but mostly how they view themselves in connections. And they definitely did grow a lot already from this connection, and just the chemistry that the two of you have has enabled this person to grow in terms of self-love. But also they see you as someone that is self-nurturing and self-loving, and I think you show that in the way you carry yourself, but also in like small things you do, or how you put work into detail. This person very much admires that and has seen that throughout maybe a short time, maybe like a longer time coming. So as I was mentioning, this is like a divided group, but this person has definitely seen a share of that, and it inspires them and it connects them to themselves. But it's not like they've seen you love yourself and now they do so. Like, that's not the energy I'm getting. I'm getting more of like them coming to terms like for themselves, like very different terms with what that means for them to honor themselves more and honor their experience and their past experience. And for some of you, I'm getting that this is even in conjunction to you. So there has been memories from the past which are not so pleasant. And I think this person is starting to honor these and starting to gain more awareness in terms of that. So with the help of thought, this is a heavy indication, like seeing this timeline and seeing that we see a timeline of energy. So it doesn't need to be a long time. It's just, I get this pattern a lot, that spirit is showing me a timeline of energy, and it's like a tunnel sometimes that I'm looking through. And it could be, time isn't linear, so this could be all like sensations that happen all at once. But very interesting thought patterns. I get a very well-educated person, to be honest. I get someone who's quite accomplished in their own respect, I would say. And I'm getting very interesting thought patterns, very elaborate thinking, in wanting to get unstuck. But this energy is still here, right? So I'm not gonna, I want to do uplifting messages, obviously, but I'm not going to move the needle on anything. So I'm just going to tell you how it is, how I see it, is that we still do have this 8 of thought here. It's represented as someone who feels still stuck on some old memories, where they feel a sense of like a cringy feeling. I'm getting like a very cringy sensation in terms of their stance in certain scenarios and how they handled themselves, or how they handle connections, or how things came about. And I can tell you, because we have a very distinct depiction for the 6 of Cups. So I think first and foremost, the root of this, like the cause of them feeling unease in certain connections, is that they in the past did have some sort of very codependent connection, where they didn't feel like they could truly be themselves. They had to please someone else. See how it's depicted as a cat who has 2 heads, and they didn't feel like they could be themselves. They didn't feel autonomy in a connection. They didn't feel like they could express their wants and needs in a healthy way. And they felt like the more they wanted to take space, the more someone clinged onto them. And they felt, and that's like from their point of view, right? They felt like they didn't have the space to express their needs, and they weren't given the chance to, I think, explore themselves outside this connection as like a separate person still. So with like their own needs and their own value system, or their own, it's like, sure, you grow very close in a connection, but this person just felt like everything was so meshed together. It's like speaking volumes to us how this cat is depicted as a cat with two heads, and you see like how they don't even look in one direction, though they have this one heart. And with this eternity sign above the heart in this depiction, where for us, because it's in reverse, it's underneath the heart, but beneath the heart, this is giving like this person felt like every connection was going to turn out that way eventually. So they have relationship phobia in one sense or another, a little bit from that still, and that's still lingering. So they felt tied up to a situation, and that could be due to, like, we don't actually see that because we only see their viewpoint. And I don't know how well meditated that one is, that thought pattern is. I cannot tell you. So sometimes people experience connections or things from the past that way due to being emotionally unavailable, and that triggers something in someone else, so that someone else, they feel like someone's growing distant, and then therefore they cling on to a connection, so or cling on more to the connection. So this person then like, it's a cycle, right? Feels more trapped even, and then it's just a downward spiral. And this person may well have been part of something like that energetically. And I think that's not something that they're proud of. Maybe they recognize their part in that as well. Maybe they don't. We see like still feeling very trapped in terms of connections, or feeling like every connection needs to be that way, though at the same time, and that's not something that's separate from their pursuit in terms of this connection. So that's maybe something to keep in mind when it comes to this person wanting this connection, wanting to move this connection forward, wanting this connection in a very stable, committed, and grounded way. So we see the star and them focusing on the star, and see how like we have this pentacle and this star, them wanting this connection, wanting you in their life, but then feeling like they're out of luck with their pursuit. So with this Ace of Pentacles, then it's followed by this. So it could also be that they blame their past now, or they recognize that their past and how they handled certain things, or how they lacked doing the inner work on certain parts that they haven't moved, like they didn't get out of their system yet. How they blame those for this connection not being a success right at this time, because they feel like this connection isn't where it should be, or where it could be if they were free from those experiences, or free if they hadn't experienced those, if that makes sense. So, and even if that's like maladaptive coping mechanisms in terms of this connection, but they think about it. I think they're trying to be logical about it with this helper of thought. They're trying to be logical about how they could release certain aspects, or how they could get themselves unstuck. And I think that's also something they communicate to the universe, intentionally or unintentionally, or conscious or subconscious. That's probably a better way to put it. They do communicate that to the universe with this helper of thought being followed by the Ace of Action. So and this angel playing this instrument. So the universe does recognize their attempts, but I think, to be honest, I didn't want to read reversals. So this You Deserve Love, it came out in reverse, and I put it upright because I set that intention to not read reversals in terms of these oracle cards, and that I didn't want to shuffle. So I'm going to keep that promise to myself. Sometimes I'm like, I feel the need to do that, to read reversals in terms of oracle cards, and then I'm like upfront, I make that clear when I shuffle, like, this is how I want this to be, this is how I want to receive a message. So in terms of this reading, this came out in reverse. So I think that's something they're still struggling with, to receive love that they wish for and that they aim for. And this is very specifically matching this attempt in terms of the Knight of Pentacles, and like, I think just the depiction is very similar. So they too want their soulmate, and I think that's something they recognize in you. They recognize certain similarities, and they recognize feelings that they long for. And what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about your values and how you handle like things in life and how you carry yourself that is very alluring to this person. So that is something that they recognize, and that they recognize you for as someone they value, definitely. I'm a little bit like tippy-toeing around the concept of soulmates in terms of general tarot readings, but yeah, we literally got the soulmate card. So I would say that this person does recognize you as something like that. And you know, there's so many belief systems around this term. So however this does apply to this person, they recognize you as someone who's very special to them and someone they hold very dear to their heart, and someone who also speaks to their logic and speaks to their values, and I would also say upbringing in a sense. I think subconsciously they always dreamed of having a connection that they imagine that the two of you could have. But they just, you know, they still are trying to figure out how to get themselves unstuck. And as I was mentioning, you form your decisions around what you feel is right. And if this did resonate, maybe it brought you closer on getting some sort of closure on what's going on right now. And if it didn't resonate, don't try to make something fit. But yeah, I think this is a very interesting person, to be honest. And I do see them struggling, to be honest, because I see them having good intentions. But good intentions is one thing. And yeah, energies can shift and change in an instant. But this person also doesn't seem like someone who... yeah, how do I put this? That's like something that's very important about this person, I think. There's people, and I would include myself, if the energy shifts, they can, like if I feel the energy shift, I can adapt to that very easily. I have like a very fluid way of adapting to energy in certain scenarios, and I had to stabilize myself throughout my life. That was like one of my challenges, if I'm vulnerable and honest. Yeah, so this person doesn't seem to be that type of person. Absolutely not. This person isn't easily influenced by energies. They're very stable, they're very grounded. So what like might pose a challenge to some of us, and that are very fluent, like there's like up and downs, like to everything, like pros and cons to everything. Like let's say you're very energetically fluid. That means like sometimes you have a hard time of differentiating what is actually my energy and what is somebody else's, or how do I keep like a more stable and grounded energetic makeup in terms of like my personality. How do I not be influenced by every little energetic shift, like by every other planet crossing another? Like how do I manage? That's like sometimes an outcome, but that also does allow me to move out of stagnant energy very quick if I set my intentions right. If I am in this Knight of Pentacles as a very energetically fluid person, as this person is right now, like with their eye on the star, if I do that, if I'm aware of what's not working, or if I'm aware of like that I want this energetic shift to occur, then I can make it happen quite easily because I'm so fluid in my energy. But with this person is like energetically more stable, and it takes them a longer time to adapt. Though that's also like, this is like a very consistent and reliable person I'm getting, like someone that would continue to show up one way, but you can see their intention, and they're probably going to come around eventually if they can make that energetic shift happen for themselves. But it's also harder for them. Though this person's like up is like their pros is like they're very stable and extremely reliable, and they don't shift in turn, like in terms of like what's next or what's like trending right now, or like how everyone's energetically moving like in different directions. This person is like very stable, grounded. They have like, I would say they have more traditional values if in terms of like their actual energetic value system, if that makes sense. So this is how I see this person's energy, to be honest. But when they're fixated on something, sure, like they can turn it around. And as I was saying and mentioning, energy is very fluid. So still like this person can adapt, and definitely because they're making this wish and they're going inside, but they're like at the beginning of that journey in terms of the insight work that is needed. We see with this Helper of Thought and the Ace of Action, though there seems to be some sort of divine intervention in terms of them gaining more momentum and gaining more clarity on what actions to take or what would be beneficial for this connection. So I'm sorry that we gotten less insight on how they think about you and more insight on their journey, but I think that's something that's crucial to this connection, and that's what Spirit wanted to show us. And we did get some insight that you're special to them, obviously, and that they think highly of you. But yeah, that's what we see. And I hope it did give you some sort of clarity, and I hope it did provide insight. And if you did like this reading, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. It helps me to provide you with more content. And yeah, I hope to see you again very soon. Pile number 2. Bye. Hi, pile 3. If you chose this deck or this crystal, then this is your reading, and I'm entirely grateful that you have chosen to join me for this reading. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for supporting my channel through liking this video and also through subscribing. Subscribing really does help me to provide you with more content, and if you would like to see that, then make sure to hit the subscribe button. And yeah, let's get started. So pile 3, in terms of what this person thinks about you, we have separation and reconciliation, and it says time apart from your partners on the horizon, and one from your past is returning to your life. Okay. Interesting. So then we have these nails. We have the 7 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. We have the, what is that? Major Arcana number 14. That is Temperance. All right. And then we have the Queen of Wands upright. Interesting. Then the 4 of Wands in reverse. Okay. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. The Healer of Thought upright, which is the Page of Swords. We have the 8 of Abundance, which is the 8 of Pentacles upright, and these are all upright because from this deck I only shuffle upright. So the 7 of Thought, which is the 7 of Swords upright, and the Helper of Action, which is the Page of Wands upright. Interesting. And the 5 of Emotion, which is the 5 of Cups upright. Okay. Wow. Pile number 3. Let me get this straight. So how does this person think about you right now? Sorry for the chewing noise in the background. My dog's with me as always. Yeah, but I definitely do get this sense of there being some sort of separation, and now still you two are in each other's energetic field. And for some of you, that may just be energetically that there's like a lot of heavy thinking in terms of the other part, but there's like a lot of heavy thinking involved here for the two of you. I think this person sees you as of recently not being so pressed on potential in the future and seeing things more realistically and wanting a much more balanced approach to potential and what's actually going on, what you see in the 3D, and just sitting in your power a little bit in terms of that, knowing that divine justice will play out for you, and knowing that you're backed in that sense and not being so pressed on the outcome of this connection. Still though, this person heavily feels you being connected to them energetically, and I would say that from both sides this is not the most pleasant sensation at times now, because it's reminding the both of you of what was lost here. And you could be seeing this person in some sort of institution, or you could be seeing this person at work, or just something that connects the two of you or did connect the two of you. There's an aspect to that. Something hasn't been energetically released, and so there seems to be a separation of some sort, and that may be for some of you that it's energetically that, yeah, because for some of you I'm getting a connection where it wasn't the most committed before, or it never really gotten off the ground. And for others of you I'm getting like a actual separation and calling things off quite literally. And for others of you I'm just getting this energetic separation that was inevitable in one form or another. And this person thinks that you've gotten some sort of insight, especially with the depiction of the 7 of Cups here, and how someone is whispering in someone else's ear at this masquerade, and this almost like receiving gossip. But I think this person thinks due to some insight and due to certain thought patterns of you being literally healed, you do not base this connection on this person's potential any longer. And I think this person thinks that in the past you heavily did so, that you based this connection on the potential that this person had, and this person may have taken advantage of that situation. And we do not see a lot of that, because it's just, we asked, what does this person think about you? So I'm seeing like, I've asked this, and Spirit's showing us like a motion picture of what is going on in terms of their thought patterns surrounding you right now. So the picture ends, but I can sort of tap into that energy, and it sort of would reveal to me like, why does that energetic makeup happen, right? And that's like a question that I ask myself then, and trying to tap further in that energy. So that could be well the case that this person has taken advantage of you in the past, basing this connection merely, or almost merely on the potential that you saw in the person, not their actual actions toward you. So this person's aware that things have turned around, and something that you healed within yourself, and that's what this person thinks. And like, they see, or they can feel that things have shifted in the connection, and they think this is due to you healing something and not receiving them in the same capacity as you once did, and being disillusioned. And therefore, with Temperance right next to that, see how this is depicted as the light being shown onto her, and which is a very interesting depiction, her still wearing this masquerade gown. Okay, interesting how I didn't see that before. Like, now that I look closer, it makes more sense. I'll get to that. But see how she's depicted, and she's almost depicted as this sort of serpent figure, and this is giving the devil, though this is Temperance, which is a weird way to put it. But this person sees a more modest approach that you have towards the connection right now. And something was disillusioned for you. This is almost like losing your innocence in terms of a connection, where once your heart was very open and you were open-minded to this person. And that's probably the shift that we see here. You were open-minded in terms of this person, and then you've gotten some sort of insight, and something in the connection shifted where you gained, I want to say, more self-respect. This is how this person is viewing the connection, that you've gained more self-respect, that where once they felt like they weren't, like you didn't have as firm, like not that firm, your boundaries weren't that firm before, like now something has definitely shifted due to you getting insight. And they also feel as though this probably is more subconsciously, like you are divinely guided through this process, like certain things can't even touch you, and certain things got illuminated for you that they thought you would never see the light of, that they thought would never be revealed to you. They thought the energy around this connection wouldn't shift. And I think, I definitely do think this person did take advantage of that situation beforehand. So with the Eight of Abundance, this person sees you working on your craft, but I think this person also sees you on working on healthier coping mechanisms, and working on more stability in your life, and working on getting your things together in terms of your love life, and having a very modest approach to all of the insights you've gotten. And this person sees you somewhat removed from them now. They think that you're energetically removed, though they get a lot of insight in terms of this connection. With the Seven of Thoughts, I would say this is also tormenting them to still like having very frequent thoughts in terms of you, especially with this Temperance depiction, this like serpent-esque, if that's not a word, but we'll take it either way, with this depiction. And then the red lady being depicted like in red, like lady in red. With the Seven of Thoughts then depicted, like that is tormenting them, but they also do believe that it should still be tormenting you somewhat as well, because they thought that you were literally obsessed with them. And again, I think this person did take advantage of that in one form or another. They do see you as someone who's way more grounded now and continuously working on that, but I'm not sure if this person's happy for you though, for you to have gained this stability. Why am I saying this? Because we have the Seven of Thought right next to it, and then it's speaking to me that the Eight of Abundance is then reduced to the Seven. I don't get the most wholesome experience tapping into their energy, to be honest with you, but that could be momentarily, right, were literally intruding their thought patterns. So yeah, I get a sense of them in the past having counted on you not knowing how to take better care of you, which is like gone. It's like a thing from the past. And with this reconciliation card here, it could be that the two of you, for a select few of you, I'm getting like that a few of you are trying to work on this connection openly, so, and maybe seeing each other again in one form or another just after the separation time, and them recognizing that you show up differently now, and that not being as severe of a thing and not being so toxic. But for others of you, I'm getting like that are more like energetically removed, where they're still, it's like this reconciliation, especially the depiction, is being depicted as a thing in the clouds. And this reminds me of meeting someone in your dreams, or meeting someone in your daydreams, and going through certain things with them, or discussing certain things with them in your daydreams or in your dreams. So for some of you, this reconciliation only occurs on an energetic level, where this person feels like they can only get a hold of you ever so slightly. In between, it's like I get like one part of you that is very much settled and grounded in your energy, especially with Temperance being here. And then we see this Queen of Wands, it's like energetically in motion to what is serving and what is right for one. And this connection definitely not being released out of your energetic field completely. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching this as well. But in terms of that, they feel as though they can only really get a hold of you when you slip, in terms of your strength and in terms of your stability. Only during those moments of weakness, almost. I don't want to call it weakness, but let's call it weakness. Just, it feels like just, yeah, moments of wonder. Like, I wonder what this person's up to. I wonder what this person's doing now. And moments of this connection, by not seeing the bad or like the torment that it may have brought you, or like how you viewed yourself in the connection. And I see someone who's maybe like sometimes wanting to still cherry pick in terms of the situation, and still like lingering around this Seven of Cups. So, you know, what drove you to see the potential in this person, and them thinking these instances only occur when you slip. So them, the only time they get to experience your energy in one form or another, like when you, and how do I say this? Like you probably do have those moments when you feel like you can feel them energetically. And you know why that is? Like sometimes it's just you, but other times we feel like this deep connection, and we know this person is probably thinking of us. And having constant thought patterns surrounding a person and constantly giving them energy and directing your energy towards them can be felt by them on an energetic level, consciously or subconsciously. So some people are more conscious of that, others experience that more on a subconscious level, but it's definitely a thing. And I think this person can only experience your connection and your energy. The only time they get to experience it is when you slip, in terms of not standing in your power as much, not being as modest. So they almost have to count on that. So I'm not saying this person is entirely toxic or entirely bad, but in terms of how things evolved, this is just their prospect right now, it seems. And this is like such a weird energy to be reading, but it seems as though this is what's going on, especially in terms of this Four of Wands. They think there's no stability and no commitment regarding this situation. And in the Four of Wands, I mostly read it as a marriage card or as a card of commitment. And in this depiction, we literally have a marriage. So yeah, there was no commitment, or definitely, especially with the separation card being here, things were called off. Maybe you were in a relationship, but there's definitely some heavy energetic patterns surrounding this connection. Very heavy energetic patterns. And the way this pattern is feeling to me, and it's like a scar, like scar tissue. The energy surrounding that feels like scar tissue, which is weird. I think this person continues to feed you breadcrumbs when you connect to them. They don't show real signs of commitment, but they also see that you don't actually count on that as much any longer. And I think you've stepped more into an energy of being more aware of your worth. But I think certainly being more aware of what you can manifest, and that you will somewhat be able to move out of stagnant energy and how powerful you are in terms of that, and that you don't have to be stuck in a situation that doesn't serve and that isn't soothing. So this person's aware of that, and they think that you've gained some sort of analytical approach in terms of that. So that also helped you let go of certain illusions when it came to this connection, and like patterns that I think didn't serve you. And what I think is so interesting in terms of this reading is the numerology around the 7 and the 7, and around what seems to be holding you guys together. It could be that 7 is like a number that you resonate in one form or another, but you might want to check out number 7 in numerology, because it seems to be significant in this reading. And sometimes I don't point it out, or I slightly point it out, but this seems to be important in terms of this connection. But yeah, we definitely do see some sort of evolution when it comes to this connection. And I do believe that this person dreams of bringing this connection back, and that's what they think about. They definitely do think about that with reconciliation. And for some of you, as I was mentioning, but I do get that is a very like select few of you, that you actually started to communicate with this person again openly in terms of a connection. But for most of you, I'm getting that this isn't as obvious, or it may be only energetically that this is occurring. We don't see extremely valid reasons. This person also thinks they can teach you a lot of things, and this person thinks they're senior in terms of growth. They're senior to you in terms of growth. I don't really get how they want to put that. I think that's in terms of certain aspects in life. Could just be that there's like an age gap, but I don't get that for like every one of you. I'm just getting like this, that this person regards themselves as senior to you somewhat. Not in a way that's like the least toxic aspect I get about this person. It's not like, this seems to be like a literal thing. It doesn't seem to be like in the most like in a very mean way. This just seems to be like how this person is approaching the connection. But like there's like other stuff that seems to be not going so smoothly in this connection that do trigger me a little more in terms of energy. I mean, this like weird scar tissue pattern that I see energetically in terms of this 4 of Wands in reverse, that's like the most concerning pattern I see surrounding this connection. And then having the help of action right underneath that I think speaks volumes in terms of how this person is moving the connection, or how this person is trying to approach things. So with the help of action, that's the page of Wands. So that's movement. That's the movement. This person, like, that's what's gaining momentum here. So, and what I was missing in terms of analyzing this person's thoughts about you is the 5 of emotions. So looking at spilt milk, this person's aware that you may not want to take them back. With the reconciliation here, very clear pattern that that is very close to the depiction of the separation, which we see in like the last part of the reading. The 4 of Wands in reverse means like, in this conjunction, it means calling something off, some sort of commitment, some sort of bond that the two of you had in terms of like what was stable and committed, like, and may that only be energetically. So calling that off. And I think for most of you, this is actually something that was like a little bit established with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So that used to be like somewhat established. For others of you, this is just a reminder that nothing was tangibly established in terms of what was actually going on. So just energetically, and sorry if like I don't make sense at this point, like it's like very hard to explain this energy because it's like very wavy. The patterns shift and change. It's weird to read it. But the 5 of emotion is very close to this pattern we see with the first row of energies, because we also have this reconciliation card, and this is connected to the reconciliation. See how he's trying to approach her and ask for, maybe her forgiveness. It says forgiveness is an important part of healing. Forgive yourself and those around you for any mistakes of the past so that everyone can move forward. Grieving is a normal part of life. Ask your angels or those you love to help you move through the process quickly so that you can get back on the path to joy. Oh wow, something just came through. I think that this person didn't expect this modest approach to what they did in the past to you. They did not expect that. They didn't see it coming. They thought that you were going to be out of your mind about the situation, and that you would handle the situation completely different. that's what they saw. I think this is a pattern for this person, to be honest. And I think this is what they saw with other people in the past. And this like served their ego, because I'm seeing like a snippet of a show that I recently watched, and someone even in that show, like, and I was like, why does this person act that way? And then later on, this person explained that, and it was like, and that was super significant. Like the way someone acted in that show was super significant to me. And I had a certain judgment around that situation. This person later came to the conclusion and had the same judgment regarding their own behavior. And that was a reality show. And it wasn't something super trashy. It wasn't like super trashy, but this person did like come from a very ego-based approach. And I think this person's somewhat ego-based in terms of connections and in terms of this connection in the past as well. And I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. I think they unconsciously, definitely unconsciously, maybe for some, it's even conscious, they feed off that ego boost they get after having a reaction to someone reacting to them, posting potential, them getting people hooked, and them owning what comes next. And it's almost like they have that down to the T, what will then come next. And that's how they pamper their ego. Very obviously, what am I going to say about that, right? I just read what I see. I'm sorry if you have to go through this. I'm sorry if you're actually on the receiving end. I mean, if you've been watching this as far, then yeah, I'm sorry if you have to experience that. I mean, everyone encounters people like that, I think, in one stage or another in their life. So, and that did not happen. So this was like a real growing experience, and I had like a growing experience for pile number 2 for this person as well, but it was very different. And this is definitely a growing experience for this person as well, especially if this is actually a thing, and you can maintain this balance and this approach to going further down the rabbit hole with in terms of like building your stability and like regaining more stability and like further building yourself up again. Like I think that's just gonna pose as even more of an experience for this person energetically. Definitely. Wow, yeah. I mean, so this person's aware that you're probably not gonna take them back, because the 5 of Cups, it talks about spilled milk, and someone, yeah, recognizing the spilled milk but not seeing what's still not lost in a situation. And that's why I was coming to the conclusion of this pattern that this person has, because I think that you did forgive this person in one form or another. It doesn't mean like they're completely energetically removed from you, but you, I think, are aware of this concept of forgiving someone, not in terms of maybe you want this person back in your life. It's like, I'm not to judge someone here, so I'm not the one who gets to judge anything. I'm just gonna, like, I'm just reading the energy. But with this reconciliation part, there's like, maybe that the person is like right on their money, that there is like still an ounce of hope left, and you watching this, so there's like a probability, though I don't see that in their thinking patterns, because we don't know that, right? I just have their cards and what they think in terms of this connection, so they have a subjective view. So but for most of you, when I try to tap into your energy without any cards, which I don't like doing that much, because I think that starts to be woo-woo sometimes, but sometimes, like, most of the time you're right on the money, especially when I do like a clarify, and then, like, you know, it's obvious that that's the case, but I'm just going to try. I think for the majority of you, it's more so of this concept like Buddhism, where you need to forgive someone. So, and I think that's a thing in almost all religions, that forgiving someone clears your energetic field so that you can move on, not to to invite someone back into your life, but to clear your own energy. You have to forgive someone and let go and move forward. And I think by this, like, this person did not think that you were going to do this. This person thought that this 4 of Wands in reverse, which I was viewing as this, like, I'm seeing it as this scar pattern. I really do energetically see this as like a real intense scar pattern. It's like literally scar tissue. This person thought they could intensify that, and that seems to be, and that's me judging now, seems to me like a maladaptive coping mechanism of trying to get people hooked, or trying to, maybe this person doesn't have like very good coping mechanisms, or not. This person definitely doesn't seem to have very healthy attachment styles, so that's definitely a thing here. So there seems to be some scar in terms of this person that they keep playing out in their life. And it seems to be major in terms of like how this did then turn out for this person. Like, I think that's something they never saw like this. Like, maybe people didn't act always like, they weren't like always like 100% right in terms of how people would act regarding their behavior towards someone, but I think they were right on the money like most of the time. But this is like so off from their usual pattern that it does teach this person something, and it seems to be major. Like, this person seems to be majorly affected by the connection. And pile number 3, thank you for teaching this person a lesson, because I think this person seems to be quite the hazard. I'm not gonna further judge because I think I already did, but it's hard not to do so if you see that type of energy being displayed. Yeah. And for some of you, like, I'm getting like this person wants a second chance. Definitely see how like in every depiction, almost this person's like where like there's a male depicted and like a female, and especially with the 7 of thought and the 5 of emotion, like someone trying to reach out, and also this helper of action, which is like movement towards something and towards someone. But yeah, I'm not going to judge like their next move, and that's not what we asked for. But this person does fantasize about reconciling further, but doesn't fantasize about real commitment. We don't see that. They want to build something, yes, but what they want to build in there, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to further elaborate, because I think at this point it's not a good idea to do so. I hope it did like give you some insight on the situation, and I hope it did resonate. And if it did, please give this a thumbs up, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel so that I can provide more insight and provide you with more content. And yeah, I'm so happy that you've been here, and yeah, my heart goes out to you, pile number 3. It's hard for me to see something like that because I'm someone who's very empathetic, obviously. Otherwise, I couldn't be reading energy like this. But yeah, just know that there's like people that value you for who you truly are and that are like you. So yeah, keep up the good work. So thanks for being here. Bye.